So we've now just got the latest episode of Tales from the Walking Dead. This episode is called D, and of course it's our alpha episode. It's our one episode for the entire series, which follows a character we know from one of the previous shows. If you don't want to get this episode spoiled for you, do not listen to this review, because this review is going to contain full spoilers for the episode. You've been warned. So this episode came out almost a week ago, and I only watched it for the first time the other day, which really goes to show how excited I actually was to watch this episode. I was looking forward to it because it's following Alpha. We got to see more of her backstory. We also got to see some in season 10. So I was excited to see more of Alpha. But I wasn't looking forward to it because episode 1 I thought was fine. I had moments I liked and I had a lot of moments I didn't like. Episode 2 I thought was fairly shit. Really didn't like episode 2. So my excitement for Tales of the Walking Dead has been decreasing with every single episode. So I was in no hurry to watch this, but eventually I said, okay, I have to watch it to see what it's like. And it's the best episode of the show, but it's still not a fantastic episode. It's not an episode I would rave about, or it's not an episode I'd be in any hurry to rewatch. It's cool to get to see Alpha's backstory. It took me a moment to realize that it actually takes place during the apocalypse, because the way the episode starts off, it kind of made me to believe that, oh, is this taking place pre-apocalypse? But no, I think I could have misheard, but I think she's either like a year or two into the apocalypse at this stage, and we see Alpha and Lydia are living on this boat, kind of big massive boat community. The idea of living on a boat makes sense. Walkers can't get on a boat, all that stuff, so it works out really, really well having on a boat. But then of course you can't build infrastructure, you can't make crops or anything on the boat, so it has its positives and it also has its negatives. The leader of the group, who from memory her name was Brooke, was a very naive person. She chose all these big extravagant parties, everyone has to wear these nice big dresses, and she wants everyone to participate, and you're just thinking, is this really the best use of your supplies? Is this really what you want to spend and use all your supplies on? But she goes for all of this. She welcomes people in without having to do somewhat of a background check. Rick and the group always asked the 3 questions. Deanna gave everyone an interview. She could have done the same thing, but from what I gather from the episode, people just came across and she goes, okay, welcome, here's your job. So she wasn't a great leader. She was very naive to the world around her. And Alpha was trying to explain this kind of stuff to her, that you can't just do this, you have to kind of find out people before you welcome them in. And because of that, because Alpha says that, people kind of look down on Alpha, thinking that she's actually more of a crazy person than someone who actually knows what she's getting on about. So to see what Alpha was like fairly soon as well, at this point in the apocalypse you kind of expected people to be more on her wavelength, but it's very reminiscent to Shane in season 2 of The Walking Dead, where everyone's thinking, oh no, we can't kill Randall. He goes, of course he has to kill Randall. If we don't kill Randall, they're going to come find us. So seeing her and Shane, very, very similar at this point. But Alpha, you can tell, hates being there. She hates living on this boat, but she's doing it for Lydia. She wants to give Lydia the best life she possibly can. This guy's on the boat, she doesn't trust him from day one. She's constantly saying stuff, she's constantly seeing things going, he's just signaling to people out there. No one believes her. And then this guy jumps off the boat and comes back with a group of 6 people, and he starts shooting people in the face. He goes, okay, well, you're at full capacity, you're not taking anyone else in, I'm going to kill 6 of your people so then we can join. And he just, in cold blood, everyone's on their knees, and he just shoots them in the face. He's just shooting people in the face of him, and his men can join. For one, do you really think you and your men can join after killing 6 of these people? And 2, just take over. If you want this boat, I guess you need the amount of people here to keep the boat running, but there's probably better ways to do it than what you did. Alpha does end up taking out 2 of them, which in a way gave the group a fighting chance to kind of survive. But no, from what I gather, everyone on the boat dies. You later see Alpha and Lydia putting walker blood all over their faces to try and camouflage themselves from the walkers. You see Alpha comes across Brooke, who's still alive. She's out there. What I was assuming was going to happen was Alpha was going to because she was gonna kill Brooke, and then Lydia stopped her, and I was thinking, okay, she puts a knife up to her face. I'm like, oh, is she gonna like skin her alive? And then is Alpha's mask gonna be from Brooke? But no, she just cuts her face like right across the middle, just slices a knife right through it, and it was just brutal to see. She's sitting there, she's not, from memory she wasn't even screaming, she just had the knife cut across her face, and then as Alpha walks away, she's just sitting there holding her face with the blood gushing out. It was quite brutal. It just goes to show that the Whisperers didn't make Alpha brutal, she made herself. Like, she was always that way. You later go on, you see them just kind of wandering around trying to find somewhere to go. A bunch of walkers show up, Lydia goes to run, Alpha's like, no, you've got to see how to do this. So you get a quite an intense scene where Lydia does not want to be there. Alpha's making her be there. She kills the walkers, but then Lydia runs away. Alpha chases her, and then they find it. And then all of a sudden she hears voices. She goes, what the hell is that? She starts freaking out. And of course we get the reveal of the Whisperers. And I, like everybody else, was probably shocked by this, because I assumed Alpha, being the Alpha, set up the Whisperers, but no, it was set up by some other woman who we later find out, I can't remember, she said her name, I can't remember it, but we find out that her face is actually Alpha's mask. So Alpha killed this woman and then became the Alpha. It was pretty cool to see that the Whisperers were a thing 2 years into the apocalypse, from what I imagine. I remember when Fear the Walking Dead started, we saw Nick constantly putting blood on his face and walking around. People thought, oh, is this the origin story of the Whisperers? It'd be cool if that actually was the case, but no, we get to see it. So there was just some group, Alpha and Lydia stumbled upon them, Alpha took over. When does she meet Beta? Because in the episode in season 10, her and Lydia are together and they run across Beta, but they're not with the Whisperers at that point. So does that place after Whisperers? Does she take the idea of Whisperers, doesn't really like it, and goes off on her own? No, but then she finds that person. So it's really confusing, because I doubt when her and Lydia met Beta was before the boat, because does she meet Beta, then leave, and then find Beta again? It's just stuff like that I find a bit confusing. Again, lends to the point, is this show canon? Episode 2 made a lot of people think this show isn't canon. This episode, just going off what we got in the main series of The Walking Dead, season 10, episode 2, I think, what we got there with Alpha's backstory, just kind of parts of it kind of contradict it, especially in terms of Beta. So I'm really interested to see how all this ties together. I'd like to see episode 2. I would really enjoy if we got to see more of them in season 2, get to see actually how Alpha takes over, how Beta becomes her Beta. I'd actually enjoy all that. I really love to see more of it. Going into this episode, like going into the season, when I found out the only episode we're getting that we have returning characters was Alpha, I was a bit disappointed. I wasn't very excited, because in my mind we had just seen Alpha. I'd rather see a governor episode. I'd love to see David Morrissey come back as the governor. I thought that'd be a lot better. Having just seen Alpha, like when she died 2020, I was like, oh, we just saw her, give her something new. But after watching the episode, I'm very satisfied with it. I enjoyed seeing her backstory. It just leaves me with those questions. Is this canon? Is this not canon? It's not a fantastic episode. I did prefer the backstory we got in season 10. I liked that episode more. But my anticipation for episode 4 is a lot higher going into it than I was going into episode 3. So this episode has turned me around a bit on Tales from the Walking Dead. Episode 3 or episode 4, I couldn't, from the trailer, it's some guy following walkers, kind of what Alicia did in season 7 of Fear the Walking Dead, where she knows a walker, she's following the walker. So I'm interested to see what's happening moving forward with Tales of the Walking Dead. We got 3 episodes left, that's 3 weeks left, and then The Walking Dead season 11 part C comes back, and it's all very exciting. So if you want to hear future Walking Dead content from me in the future, click the subscribe button so you can come back and hear all my thoughts on anything dead related. But as always, thanks for listening.